Hey, Nisha, and today we're taking a look at the Harley Benton Traveler steel acoustic guitar. This is a travel-sized acoustic guitar. I bought mine for about £65. It's the version that has a 1/4-inch jack output and a pickup, but you can also get one without that costs about £10 less at £55. Now, this is a very small guitar. I put it in the category of backpacker guitars. It has a reduced scale length of 23.5 inches or 60 centimeters, which is about 1.5 inches less than your typical acoustic guitar. The body, as you can see, is also much thinner and smaller than a normal guitar. And in total this thing measures 85 centimeters. It weighs in at about 1.2 kilograms. This is the electronic version. I think those electrics probably weigh 150 grams or so. The neck of this guitar has a nice matte finish and I found it very comfortable to use, quite easy to get the thumb over. It doesn't feel like a miniature guitar or a toy guitar. It feels pretty much similar to a full-size acoustic guitar, but good if you have smaller hands. It has 18 frets and joins at the 12th. Now there are a couple sharp edges on the frets. It doesn't have the best finish, but honestly at this price point I didn't expect the best craftsmanship. Now there is a mounting point included on the bottom of the guitar. You can use that on one end of your strap, and then the other end you can tie with a string just above the nut. I found it a lot more comfortable to use a strap because the size of the body means when you put it on your rest it on your thigh, it's a lot lower than a normal guitar would be. So I preferred using a strap, but it's best just to try out and see what works for you. If you do opt for the E version, there is that 1/4-inch jack output as I mentioned, and it comes with a 9-volt battery that powers that. There is also included a very thin gig bag, which serves the purpose of just covering it and avoiding any big scratches, but it's not going to protect it from any bumps. So as you can expect, acoustically, this guitar isn't going to make as much noise as a full-size acoustic guitar. It also isn't going to have much low end, and that is pretty much true. That's my experience. So you can get a bit of a demo of me indoors just playing it. I did find though it's definitely loud enough, first of all, for yourself. So if you're just playing for yourself, maybe you're working on some songs on the go, it's perfectly fine, like perfectly serviceable. And also even in smaller groups. So I took this guitar with me on the Camino de Santiago and I kind of attached it to my backpack using the case, which was very easy to like thread through. And you know, in small gatherings, especially indoors, it is loud enough to be heard, which is what's important when you're on the go. Like you're not expecting the most beautiful sound to come out of it. So as I mentioned, I've got the version with the pickup. I actually didn't use the pickup on the go at all. I only tested it at home, and unfortunately I don't have any examples of that, but it is just a very typical electroacoustic sound. Honestly, in my opinion, I would probably save the money and the weight by just getting the non-pickup version, unless you're definite that you're going to want to plug it in and amplify. So what about other options in this backpacker guitar segment? So there is on my channel a review of the Traveler guitar electroacoustic. So that brand of guitars is a lot more premium. That guitar costs about 5 times what this one costs. It is a full scale length guitar and it is even more portable, but the problem with that guitar I found was that acoustically it makes no noise, so you need to buy an amplifier or some headphones to be able to use that. And I found that really frustrating on the go because sometimes you just want to pick up and play, you don't want to have to mess around with lots of other pieces of kit. But you know, if you're more of an electric player, you want something that really emulates the neck of a full guitar, and maybe you don't care about playing for other people or playing out loud, you just want to play for yourself, then you could get a headphone amp and that could work. Another guitar I bought recently and ended up returning was the Harley Benton Traveler. Also on my channel I've got a review. Now my problem with it in the end was it was too big and heavy to take with me on the hiking trip, which basically weighed about 2.5 kilos, which was a bit too much for me. It was an interesting guitar in terms of the aesthetic. It had a lot thicker neck, which I didn't particularly enjoy. And then finally, the other guitar I wanted to talk about is the Martin Backpacker, which I think was the first guitar in this class, maybe. It has a full scale length, it has a bit of a funky shape to it, and I actually came across one when I was walking this Camino. Someone else had one, and obviously I had to have a go with it just to compare, because that guitar also costs about 5 times what this one does. My verdict was, okay, it was better, you know, it had the solid wood top, it sounds a lot better, it will probably age a lot more, but honestly I found the neck quite chunky and uncomfortable, and I don't know, for me it just wasn't worth it. Like, if you're going to be traveling a really long time, or if you have a really high budget, yeah, that's probably the best in class you could buy. But for most people, like, I think, yeah, £50, £60, it's hard to beat this one at that cost. So yeah, I am thoroughly impressed by the Harley Benton Traveler Steel. I think, you know, if you need something very light that you can take on a hiking trip or something and just whip out and play, it serves its purpose really well. It's super cheap. I mean, I couldn't even find anything secondhand that was cheaper than this. You know, I originally wanted to find something secondhand. It's definitely worth a try. Very light, as I said, just over a kilo, 85 centimeters, comes with a case. I've unfortunately sold mine now because I didn't see much use for it afterwards, but hopefully someone else will be using it out there. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been useful. Leave any questions or comments, subscribe for more to the point content. I might be making a video where I compare the different types of travel guitars that are out there, the different categories, because now I've tried a few different ones out, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next one.